names are all just like jazz songs, right?
Oh, yeah.
Falling Leaves,
As I say,
Tank Shot.
you missed the opportunity, yeah. The Bullet Explosion is not a standard I'm familiar with, but
You get a copy of the real book, you'll see it in there.
yeah, as I say, one
Like
of
page 200, it's a deep cut. I I got Disco Elysium at your insistence.
did you play it? Did you enjoy any of
I
it?
did play it. Yeah, yeah. It actually it's a very strange feeling for me because what it really reminds me of is point and click adventure games.
Oh,
more than an
yeah,
RPG.
it is a point and click adventure, right? But like also an open world RPG.
Yeah,
It's a
'cause it
funny
has
combo.
experience. It has skill rolls. Um, yeah. What's weird about that combination is that to me the hallmark of like at least a lot of the point and click adventure games that I really enjoyed
Mhm.
is that it's entirely deterministic, right? Like you can walk around and there's no cost of doing the wrong thing, right? Even if you're in a game that you can die, you're basically just save scumming all the time, you know.
Which you can do the heck out of in this game, for what it's worth.
Oh yeah, so maybe I should just save scum.
Yeah,
I
you,
don't know.
you should save scum because like if you're gonna make a check that is unretriable, I've like started saving before big conversations because also like the outcome you get is very unclear. Oh hey, what's up? What's up, Dean? Dean says boys, boys, boys. I mean,
Hey, what's up?
big fan of that too. What's
Yeah.
going on? Yeah. Dean, have you played Disco Elysium? We're talking about just how weird it is. I think great. I don't know if Jeff thinks great yet, but super weird.
It is super weird. I'm enjoying it, even though I wouldn't say I was like 100% sucked into it right away. Oh, I just walked into the.
I saw that.
Oh yeah, I can walk into the collision now. That's a new bug.
Whoops. Dean says, nice to see Sheeb is still in play.
Yeah.
Sheeb is still in play?
Sheep has drool now, basically.
Yeah, Sheeb has a little spittle when he throws his laser tongue.
Yeah.
Sheeb needs some work, though. I mean, yeah, he's got kind of a vacuous neck.
Yeah.
His particles look great.
I love. What's the name of the partner guy? Kutaragi? Kitsuragi, yeah. He's a great character.
He's a perfect foil, too. Yeah.
I love how the main the character that they force you to play is like such the anti-wish fulfillment video game character. It's just like this, like the first thing you do is look at yourself in the mirror and remark about like how horrible you look.
It's is it an anti-power fantasy? It's actually
I think it is
narratively really interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because you basically a lot of the dialogue choices that you choose for the character are like a choice between like a terrible thing to say and a slightly less terrible thing to say.
Yeah, it's a little. It's weird because my experience of playing it so far is that I'm trained as someone who plays video games to like hit all the buttons, but it turns out hitting all the conversation options is like occasionally very bad for you. Like you actually should not do everything in this game if you want to like. It like is your character like you always have the option to like say something lewd to someone, but like you don't have to. But like. Do you hit all the buttons? Like I kind of hit all the buttons sometimes.
I usually exhaust the entire dialogue tree.
But some of them are really bad. Like there's the lady next door to you's hotel room that you can like start shouting at her through the door, but like that's a character choice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also there's all the fascist options which you don't have to pick.
Oh, right, yeah. What is the passage of time aspect of that game? Like do you have a limited amount of time to play the game, or is it like
I think it's something like I think there's like you get a full week or 10 days of game time. But that's okay. But that's quite a lot.
I suppose. I feel like I've already lived through like while I was playing. I think I already made it to like mid-afternoon on the first day, and I haven't even gotten the body down yet.
I didn't get the body down until day 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's hard to get the body down.
Okay. Do you have to go around town, or is everything you need like right in the first area?
You have to go around town because you have to Yeah, I don't know how far you've gotten, but yeah, you can't get the body down without help, right? If you yeah. So yes, you have to get someone to help you.
Okay.
I think if you were a very proficient gunsman, you could shoot it down yourself, but I am not.
Yeah, I made a custom character and I put 4 points in intellect and 4 points in empathy, I think it was. Because I wanted all the good dialogue choices.
Yep. Yeah, but I did manage to roundhouse kick the racist on top of the wall with my limited physical skills, and that was actually very satisfying. So I look forward to playing kind of the meathead detective.
You got to punch Nazis.
It was a really good Nazi punch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's compelling. Keep going. There's like a second area that opens up on day 3 that I just got to as well.
Oh, okay.
There's like a gate that's closed until Wednesday.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to accomplish everything. Is the passage of time just like how long you spend talking to people? Like what causes the timer to move forward?
I think time only moves forward when you're talking, which I really like because you can just run around all you want.
Okay.
I was trying to get 10 minutes past once. I was trying to get to 9 p.m. because that's when like the night shift takes over.
Mm-hmm.
And I ran around for like 30 minutes and couldn't make it happen until I like had a couple conversations. So
yeah. Now you said there was like 1 million words of dialogue or something like that.
I think 1 million lines.
1 million lines. Dang.
There's a lot of dialogue.
Which is super impressive, and you know what? The voice acting is really good for that much content. It's really impressive.
It's really great. I like all the weird accents. Like,
yeah,
there's like a bunch of like ambiguously French people. There's the extremely like ruffian child who just wants you to buy him drugs.
Is that Kuno?
Kuno is weird. The southern
he's bad.
Yeah, the southern lady who like just wants to tell you about cryptids. Like, it's really excellent.
Yeah. No, it's great. The concept design is amazing. The writing is so good. I'm really impressed.
Yeah. It's basically a text adventure. It's a point and click text adventure somewhere between a Hitchhiker's Guide and a Monkey Island or something.
Yeah, it could literally be what's that? What is the name of that text adventure engine? Or rather, the text game engine.
Inform 7 or Inform.
That's not the one I'm thinking of. Actually, interactive fiction engine.
Twine.
Twine is
yeah,
the one I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be a Twine game with like really good graphics.
Right.
And really good voice acting.
Yeah. I haven't played that many interactive fiction games, but I did play Digital: A Love Story, which is really, really good. And the interface to that is like an old like kind of Windows 3.0 desktop, right? Or even earlier than that. It's like a kind of like Amiga looking thing, right? Or
Cool.
original Mac kind of thing.
Yeah.
But this is I don't know if it's Twine. It's made in one of those engines. But really kind of cool. That game was great.
That's super cool. Yeah. Man, there's one I'm trying to think of. That'll come to me later. There's some really cool text adventure games.
Yeah, I think someone made a parody called Analog: A Hate Story. Also supposed to be really good.
Oh yeah, I remember hearing about that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wait, this is it. I'm not sure. Okay, I'm gonna find out. Googling.
Yeah.
Sweet. What should we do today?
I had a couple ideas. One, we spent like half of last stream remembering how to do logarithms, and I think we should try to install that onto the rest of the tools.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Which will kind of bork our particle emitters right now, but whatever, we can rebuild them.
Yeah,
make them better. And then I think we could continue to add stuff to the particle tool. Really, the only thing that I'm super interested in right now is maybe adding an offset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you can have multiple emitters at different points in the same sort of like
or at
emitter
least we
set.
don't have the emitter coming out of the neck of the dog, right?
Yeah, that is a little weird. Oh,
Ahead of doing like full-on rigging, I think we might just be able to scoot the emitter forward a little bit.
That's pretty reasonable. Yeah, forward, a little up, and call it a day.
Yeah.
So that
sorry.
I was gonna say that offset, or we could add like a new model node, possibly in Blender, and give it a name and have it be like a single dot at the tip of the nose. And,
Okay, I'm interested.
And attach the emitter
in
to that.
Chasing that down.
Yeah, because that feels more like the future of what rigging would be, but very cheaply.
Yes. Now, the other thing that we could do is go back to the reason why we added particle emitters in the first place, which is to have some way of like implementing interesting weapons and getting some kind of visual distinction, right? That was the original genesis of like even adding.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I love this how he's shooting that turret's shooting the other dogs.
Ah, it's so rude.
Yeah.
You're knocking it back into range.
Yes.
Poor little other sheep.
Yeah. Rude. I think we have like 10,000 hit points right now. I think that got committed to me.
It's quite a few. Yeah, they're fairly indestructible.
Yeah. So we could actually design some actual weapons, right? We have knockback.
Yeah.
We've got particle emitters. We can actually add some real like alternative weapons.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay, well let's get those logarithms in there real quick, and then.
Okay, that sounds good.
Love that particle toy. I have some ideas for how to make this work better for editing multiple emitters too, so I'll have to do some. Roll up my sleeves and do a little Redux soon. It's.
Have you seen Recoil by chance?
I've heard of it. Yeah, I haven't really used it.
I think the idea behind Recoil is that rather than it knows me. Rather than pass props down, you have just like it's a little bit more like global database sort of thing. So you just have like a global like a global state, global store, and you can use recoil state. But I think you can use state that is shared across multiple components.
I think that's right. Yeah.
And I think you do that by passing a key in. Something like that.
What is text state?
Text
okay,
state
yeah.
Is like what they call an atom.
Okay, so gotcha. So you have to pass the atom in, but that's pretty cool. And you know what? That makes a lot of sense because that atom function call is like probably just a reference to some shared in memory thing. So you have to define and export that, and then you're good to go. That's pretty cool.
Right. What I'm not sure about is how they managed to like call the render function again when that state changes.
I assume that this is binding to a React context, and that this is a nicer interface into the context API.
Possibly. Yeah. So how does this become aware of the context?
Somewhere at the top of this getting started, I assume you must have to wrap something like a recoil provider. And that's probably the root context.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
There's no other way. But that's probably doing a bunch of like context rigmarole to make that work in a nicer way. Because managing context is dumb. Like it's kind of a terrible UI. It's like really bare bones Redux.
So is it that like by the time that this function gets called, there's some external state that knows what component you're on, so that when you use recoil state, it can associate this current component that's being rendered to the state the atom that's being passed in. And so when the atom gets updated, they can follow that reference back and then re-render this component, right? That must be how they do it, right?
Yeah, and I'm not 100% sure. Like, I don't quite understand how contexts pass messages back and forth, because they have a little bit of that Railsy magic to it, where you just use it and things know about it further down the chain in a weird way.
Okay.
So I think React has put some special stuff in there when you wrap something in a context. Like there's some sort of a bubbly eventy thing that you get to use, you get to take advantage of.
Yeah.
I think that's what's happening.
Because the way that original React would handle updates is that you would call set state, and set state was either a method on the component object itself, or with hooks. You were basically calling a function that like knew which component you were on currently.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what use state is.
Yep.
And then with the advent of Redux, the principle is that you're passing in different values of props every time you want to update something. So React is kind of built in, like it knows to update that component when the props change. But like this is a little bit mysterious to me, right?
Well, it's that you update the component when props change, but the new paradigm is like you update the component when hooks change, because like use state is actually not a prop, but it's also not like a variable that you have control of in the context of the thing. Like something when you use the set state function pops out of your component and like pops back in and has done some like implicit props management.
Yeah, I think what it is that like there is some state that is internal to the React subsystem.
Yep.
That like knows you're on the 5th child of the 8th child of the 10th child.
Yep.
Calls the render function. And then when use state gets called in that context, it says, well, where am I right now? Well, you're on the 5th child or the 8th child or the 10th child. We're going to like
exactly
register that. And then it knows what to update, right?
And I bet that having this little like use recoil state hook, I bet it allows you to only update for like that one prop you've targeted instead of sometimes. I think when you tie into a context, you might get updated every time the context changes, right? Which is just like massive, right? Yeah, I think you're right. Recoil is a tree. Yeah, I think they've taken advantage of a couple of things to make this work really well. And maybe context works that way too. It's just annoying to manage. So
yeah, and what's really nice about this is this atom can be shared across multiple components, right?
Right, and it's the same atom, right? Like you get the same text state in 5 places.
Yes,
that's
exactly.
Brilliant.
Exactly. So you don't have to do it's basically like the Redux model, but without any threading, right? Because the threading of props is just so bad.
I hate Redux so much. Every time I have a project with Redux, I get so lost and so confused. And everyone working on it is like, yeah, we really don't know why we put Redux in this. I'm like, I put Redux in so many projects so many times, and I'm sure some poor developer has to deal with my choices now.
Well, the next time you have to build a complex
I'm gonna try this.
UI, you should try this. Yeah. It looks pretty good. Right.
I've been enjoying just no Redux, just use
maybe
context.
You can add recoil to this.
Oh shit.
Part of the toy.
You know what? It's a really great case for it. I mean, I'm gonna give it a try because
no one's gonna get mad at you, right?
No one's gonna get mad at me. We can always just delete it. But also we have like a very interesting shared state problem between our emitters, and yeah, it's cool. That's a good idea.
Is logarithmic the right keyword, or should we call this exponential?
Oh, exponential.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
This is just going to work, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Oh, phenomenal.
By the way, I still can't believe you freehanded that log path last time, and we didn't even have type checking on it. It was still correct, so great work.
Well, I'll tell you what. I have implemented something similar to it. I don't know if you've ever had to work with Prometheus before.
We have it.
It's the worst.
This is the first company I've had Prometheus at, and it's
the worst.
It's really bad. Yeah. Well, I mean, all software is just the worst, but Prometheus has a special place in my heart right now.
Yeah, it's so the idea behind Prometheus is distributions. You know, you're trying to get like P95s or whatever. And I get why they did it this way, but basically, if you don't really you can't really ask Prometheus, what is my P95? What you do instead is you create, there's like a thin interface where you send it buckets, and for whatever metric, let's say you're trying to do like a duration of an API call, right? That's like the most common use case. What you basically say is like, okay, I have a 50 millisecond bucket, a 100 millisecond bucket, a 500 millisecond bucket, a 1 second bucket, and like a 5 second bucket. And I'm going to sample like the time it took for a particular API call. And on the client side, on the Prometheus client side, we're just going to say like, well, if it took like 2.5 seconds, I'm going to quantize that to the 5 second bucket and increment a counter for the 5-second bucket. So it doesn't actually know the true time that something took. What you're doing is sort of snapping it to a bunch of user-defined boundaries and then incrementing a counter. And the reason why they did it that way is that generally you're aggregating metrics across a bunch of different like API hosts. Like it's all redundant. It's like you had like 50 Heroku dynos or whatever. And normally if you try to do time series on that, if you use like statsd, what it's doing is like you're taking an average of P95s across like multiple hosts, which is kind of like a nonsensical thing to do. Like it doesn't make sense to average those.
Yeah.
But that means you have to know ahead of time what your subdivisions are, right?
Oh, interesting.
So what we do is like the technique that I've basically adopted is I said, what's a reasonable minimum and what's a reasonable maximum? And then give me essentially the exponential steps between those. And that's basically like my precedent for doing this thing here.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Sorry, that was a very long-winded digression. But I got to complain about Prometheus, which I love to do.
It's a great choice. Yeah.
Yes.
You should be the infrastructure engineer fixing my CI right now. You would be much better
my
equipped.
day job
You'd be
right
much
now.
better at it than I am. Yeah. much better.
It's a bunch of tweaking of bash scripts, which I still am really bad at. I don't think you can get good at bash. It's just crazy.
Yeah, and mine is like a multi-level Docker setup, and like I hate Docker.
Are you doing Docker inside of Docker?
Yeah, it's Docker and Docker. Dinned. Good old dinned.
Well,
it's bad.
This is a trial by fire for you. You'll
Sure.
come out a stronger Dominic, right?
Yeah.
And then you can teach me a thing or two.
Probably. I think I'll learn. I'll know not to use Docker for any video game projects that we do.
So what did we want to make up to exponential? Do you remember? Spawn rate?
Spawn rate. Dean says, love Docker and Docker, but oh man. Yeah. Dinned for life.
Is everything exponential?
I think everything. Well, let's look at the sliders. Because I think that might make more sense. Dean, I actually just have no idea what I'm doing with Docker. It's I'm doing a lot of Googling and trying to figure out why my gems aren't being cached between builds. It's a nightmare. Spawn rate exponential seems good. Timing, I mean, color, not.
Scale, we probably wanted this to be exponential.
Scale, yeah. Spread shouldn't be. Spread is exactly where it should be.
Spread and color.
Mm-hmm. Alpha is where it should be.
But pretty much all the rest of these, right?
I think so, yeah.
Maybe not speed. What's the slowest we can get the particles?
Pretty dang slow.
So maybe speed can be linear, right?
Yeah. Dean says Docker and Docker is kind of dated. You don't need to do that anymore so much because you would orchestrate containers that are siblings. I think, yeah, I got the sense that this Docker and Docker setup is extremely antiquated. I'm not confident enough to
Docker and Docker situations at work, or at least someone has proposed it, and everyone's just like, ugh.
That's weird. I have a Docker compose file too. I don't know why I ended up with this mess. So,
yeah. Well, the one use case that came up at work was that like maybe you have a bunch of build machines that need different Linux distros to do the builds.
Oh, they're all the same. They all run Alpine 3.13 or whatever.
Okay.
Every
right.
distro is exactly the same.
Well, if you do need like a specific distro,
yeah,
but your only option for deploying code into the cloud is itself Docker containers, you have to do Docker and Docker. Because it's like your like build agent is whatever is running directly on the container. So let's call it not bare metal, not bare cloud, but bare container.
Oh,
and then you need to like vary, like maybe different jobs require different Docker containers, right? So like,
oh, I see. Yeah. So is this because of my GitLab CI setup where they offered me Docker, but we have to actually deploy our Docker inside of their Docker?
Exactly.
Is that what's happening?
That's exactly right. Yeah. Yeah. Is that what Dean is talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dean says Docker networking has gotten way better, and you should write a Docker compose file and network them. Boy, I am when I write the show notes for this episode, I'm just gonna put Docker and a frowny face. That's gonna be my bullet point for my feelings. No, actually, I'll probably find a nice article about why Docker and Docker is antiquated and I shouldn't be using it.
Technology sucks. Did I tell you I hate reading documentation?
I kind of like reading. I like reading good documentation. You don't like reading documentation?
So, as someone who's worked in developer tools very recently, I kind of like. I kind of find it hilarious to. Is this updating actually? I feel like potentially this is completely broken right now.
What's that? Gravity speed?
Oh, it's because our emitter TTL is so low. I was like, this seems to be behaving very strangely. It's because the emitter TTL is quite low. Okay, very cool. So the story, because like the joke is that like, you know the like Greenspun's 10th rule or whatever, where it's like every sufficiently complicated system has like a poorly defined implementation of common Lisp in it.
Yes.
That's like the joke. I think every sufficiently complicated piece of modern web software describes itself as a workflow execution engine. So you go into like CI software and it's like, we are a workflow execution engine. And then you read about like build systems like Bazel, right? And it's like, under the hood, Bazel is just a workflow execution engine. And then you look at like data processing pipelines like Airflow, and it's like, we are just a workflow execution engine. So everybody's just like re-implementing as like a slightly different flavor of the same fucking thing.
Yep. Oh gosh.
But they all have their own cute nicknames for different concepts and like different semantics because it fit the short-term use cases of the particular company that built the first version of it. Good Lord.
And didn't, like you say this, and didn't we like sort of not invented here our CI system at Chain because everyone else's was also really bad?
It's true. They were moving off of Circle CI, right?
Ours was fast, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Dean asked if this was related to the game, and I told him it was my day job, and he was like, well, figure it out in your own time. Don't waste the precious Sheeb minutes. So
he's absolutely right.
He's not wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, like I think we're complaining about our day jobs right now.
Okay. I just like that I can still type in PogChamp and get that sweet lizard. No.
Fuck this guy.
Yeah, you gotta type it into Slack. That guy likes what is it? Insurrection.
Yeah.
Speaking of monitor lizards, did you see the monitor lizard bodega cat? Yeah, if you type those exact words, you will. Yeah, that first one. Wow, weird to be on Fark.com, but it's that.
Holy shit. Wait, what?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that is crazy. Man, if I saw that thing in real life, I would run the other direction. That's horrifying. That's a dinosaur.
That's totally a dinosaur.
That's a velociraptor right there.
But like a slow one? So
yeah.
Were dinosaurs must have been cold-blooded. So we would have gotten away from them in the winter. It would have been fine. Yeah, that thing is huge.
What's the difference between this and like a Komodo dragon?
They're both they're all the same thing, I think. Komodo dragons are monitor lizards. Not all monitor lizards are Komodo dragons.
I see. Just like how are grizzly bears and polar bears different?
I thought so.
They have different colors.
I like that you're gonna find like, can a grizzly bear fight a polar bear?
Well, I mean, I think that's actually
the first thing you got.
Yeah. What about grizzly bear versus hippo?
Who monitors the monitor lizards? Says Dan. only the PogChamp.
This is what Quora is made for.
What? I typed in PogChamp and it didn't do the thing. I don't know how to emote. Wow, speaking of Quora, pour one out for Yahoo Answers.
Which land animal would win all fights? Elephants.
What? Why did Google answer that?
Well, they're scraping Quora. They're eating Quora's ad money.
So if I wanted to put very incorrect information out there, I could answer questions on Quora, but wrong.
You have to do some SEO.
They have to be upvoted. Yeah.
But I would upvote you. I think we're both trending towards chaotic neutral.
Well, this is
if not straight up chaotic evil.
You always answer the CAPTCHA a little wrong to mess with the robots.
Exactly. God, this is horrifying. It's disgusting. All right, let's make everything logarithmic, except gravity probably doesn't need it.
No, we liked gravity, right? I guess the nice thing about logarithmic is that we can make the higher and higher.
Yeah, it's true.
Because I think we could have a more intense gravity going on.
Okay. We could also have a more intense gravity by just raising the maximum value, right?
That's what I mean. Raise the maximum value and then make it logarithmic so that we have like a little more on the low end to work with. Yeah. Non-exponential?
Oh, this is not a scaled slider. This is like a regular thing. The spawn rate, I think the max is just 1,000, right?
Mm-hmm. That's particles per second?
Yeah. It's not working.
Because it needs a steps property.
Does it require steps?
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
I just put 100 for everything.
Yeah, that's reasonable. Dang, that's cool.
Yeah. 1,000. Okay.
Do you want to raise it to 10,000?
We could. I mean, the reason why it kind of looks short here is that I think we need to. The start offset probably can just be completely linear, right?
The start offset. Why are those two connected? Sorry, what's going on?
Oh, it's just because like the start offset can never be more than the time to live. The way the start offset works is that like imagine that like this is the timeline.
Yeah.
The start offset is this is where it starts. Oh my gosh.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't realize that's how it was working, but that is awesome.
Yeah.
Man, these look really cool. We had some very interesting. Maybe it was in our early when we just
spawn
had
rate does need to be higher. Let's make it 2,000.
Yeah. More spawn rate seems like a plus. I think when we had just our star field of particles, I really enjoyed. There's a brief moment where it kind of looked like the Ghost of Tsushima leaves floating through the woods. So
yeah,
I want some atmospheric particles to show up soon too.
Isn't this a fun emitter? Let's add some color.
So yeah, I guess one thing that's interesting for this emitter too, and maybe that sort of is connected to what I was just saying.
Now it's very American.
Whew, I like that. Oh yeah, I thought there was some white in there between the red and the blue, but that makes more sense. I think it was all particles when you were changing it.
I see.
Dean says, "Oh my gosh, can you make the sheep run through piles of leaves with the particle generator?" We absolutely could. Are you making a fall sheep simulator? Dean keeps suggesting the opposite game of what we're building, but I really want to make the game that Dean keeps suggesting.
Yeah. Okay, so scale, that's going to be logarithmic, right?
Yes, we are gonna put fall leaves in here, or I am exponential. But no, to the fall leaves. I was thinking that what we have now actually is like type 1 of a particle emitter, which is like a point emitter, and maybe we want like a cube or a shape emitter of some sort to like, instead of spawning from a point, it picks a random space in a volume.
Yes, we can do that. Yeah. In fact, that's what we can do with the offset. The offset will be like a random space in a cube, if that.
Oh, because we'll make the offset a range. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Exactly.
Cool.
Speed.
Okay, then we might actually have to. Yeah.
Do we want speed to be logarithmic? Everything's logarithmic.
I think so, because yeah, it makes it easier to tune. Oh.
This actually looks super cool.
That looks really cool.
kind of hard to read.
A little bit. The magenta is.
The contrast is a little bit rough.
Should we light our particle shader? Will that help?
Should we light it?
Yeah. Should we give it the same global illumination that we have for?
The lighting isn't the problem here. It's just that the background color doesn't contrast well with these particles. So we could make it black or whatever.
We can change the background color. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, a background color kind of like slider here would be cool too.
That'd be nice. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What else is lighter? The TTL definitely.
Exponential.
God. Where would I be? And then gravity, yes.
Yep. And make the max.
You wanted more gravity, right?
Yeah, 20 or 30. Yeah.
Or 50.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah, I want some heavy dang particles. Yeah, that's great. It's nice to have the option. It is bonkers to me how significantly better this is than our last particle emitter.
Yeah. It's definitely generates much cooler visual effects. It's quite a bit more complicated. I don't know if it looks better in the game though. I mean, the tiny particle emitter here looks really kind of cool. It's kind of got these sizzly sparks.
Yeah.
But it is kind of harder to get, I would say, muzzle flare the way that we had it last time. I think we just didn't have enough time to play with it.
Yep. Okay.
And I maintain that the turrets still look like they're drooling. They're foaming at the mouth.
Oh, the turrets look very strange. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm super. Yeah, we should add offset because then I want to add a giant cube emitter.
Okay, let's do that right now.
And I can do it on my own time, but I do want those sweet falling leaves. Yeah.
Okay, so we want translation and offset, right?
We can do that. We can do snow. We'll have a weather system. Yeah.
Oh, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
So where will that go? Maybe above speed?
Yeah, and by the by, I've been enjoying the notion of printing the value above the labels. We did it on what, only timing or spawn rate? Where did we do
this
that?
one here?
Yeah.
Yeah, we should probably do a. We can probably left a line or right a line, and then round the value to like.
Yeah, that is an extremely simple flexbox for us to do. And it would be really nice.
Maybe for you.
I can
teach me
Flexbox. I can talk you through a very straightforward Flexbox for that because it'll be really nice to have to see the numbers as we're doing it too. I feel like that'll.
Okay. Cool. So position offset. I believe this is translation offset.
Oh shit! We already built it.
Well, yeah, it exists.
I totally forgot about that. That's amazing.
What is this? Oh, it's a vec3.
So we need X, Y, and Z here. Yeah.
So we just do this X.
Why? Dean sent some inspiration for the dog nature simulator. Oh, that's a good doggo. Dean, is this your friend's dog?
I like how when I mute my notifications, it shows the ball, because that's what you want.
Was that? Wait.
That's what happened. I option clicked the notifications up here to grade them out because I saw that I just got like a text from my mom. It wasn't anything salacious. She was just telling me how she was doing because I asked her how she was doing.
Yeah.
But
it's weird that the notification muting doesn't mute anything for you.
Yeah.
So I posted the tweets Dean sent us into the live channel. And actually, he said the second one is our option for the military industrial complex aesthetic. If we need that.
This one here?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
It's pretty perfect.
So goggles on dogs. Is that a thing that people do?
I believe they're called doggles. And I sorry, I say that because I think they're actually a real thing called doggles.
Okay. So I'm going to tell a story about Bunny, who I live with. We were at the Bay Street Mall one day, probably watching a movie or something like that. And we were walking in front of the Old Navy, I believe it was. And she got distracted because this woman was like struggling to put dog goggles on her dog.
Oh, no.
And Bunny knows animals really well, but she had never seen that before. And Bunny got so distracted by that she like rammed into like this like pole on the sidewalk and like cut her arm.
Oh no!
Because she was so mystified by the spectacle of somebody putting goggles on on their dog.
That's a worthwhile injury to accrue.
Yeah.
Oh, Dean says, "Look at his little tongue." I didn't even notice.
Battle scars.
Got
Right here.
got a
Yeah.
little tongue,
There
yeah.
you go. You got a little
My,
tongue action going on here.
My little cat falls asleep with his tongue sticking out, and it's quite a good animal feature.
They're good tongues, Dan.
I'm glad every time you say that, you make sure to do the meme by exactly correct by getting their name wrong too.
I think it's all part of the charm.
That's
this is
perfect.
0 to 10. The whole arena of this thing is 10 by, or at least what we can zoom in and zoom out of is 10 by 10.
That's interesting.
Could this be bigger?
What's our game board is 0 to 64, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty big. I think 0 to 10 is fine because I feel like we could. Let's see. We can't really apply a scale to the emitter itself, but we could just edit it if we're. I can't wait to see what this does. Whoa.
We need to go negative.
Yes.
Like a presidential campaign.
Woof. Did it persist that?
It didn't because I didn't click anything. We need to change the
behavior. It's weird that clicking the slider doesn't do the thing.
Yeah, I don't think it counts it as a click. Yeah, you can see it going.
So if you turn this, so we have speed. We don't have a spawn direction, so you can't. It's hard to make sort of a directional. Like if we wanted particles that were like going this way. We can't have like wind.
Well, we'd set the orientation, right?
Oh yeah, we just don't have that yet. Yeah.
Or we could set the spread. We'd set the spread to kind of like a tighter.
Oh yeah.
Like let's eliminate the Y variation.
Yeah, totally.
And let's turn gravity off because it's distracting me. And let's crank the speed a little bit. And the TTL is way too small. Whoa.
Cool. So
what's going on? They seem like they're going in opposite directions.
They're going in opposite directions because the spread is a full half
spread.
circle.
Oh yes, the spread. Yeah, the spread is a full half circle from the point where they spawn.
Yeah. So if you point the spread in, if you take the spread, to 0 on one side, it should look like they're kind of moving.
Yeah, and if we really wanted it to go just like in one direction, we could do.
We just control that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And so if you put the position offset, can you just max it out for the whole cube?
Yeah, if we wanted the whole cube. So you're talking about rain here, right? That's what.
Yeah, I'm thinking a little rain. Wow,
this is like a plane.
It is really cool that this works. Dude.
Yeah, we could set the lifespan to undefined.
And it would just keep going, yeah.
Yeah, and it would just keep going. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, it is really neat that this already
make
works.
the TTL like
and the offset, yeah. That's infinite, right? Or is there a break on the reset?
There's a 1.5 second gap. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to see it.
I think that's worthwhile. Yeah.
Yeah. If we really wanted to make it look like snow, we go from white to kind of this.
Sick. So now, moving the spread around, I guess, is our wind direction, and we have speed to sort of control. That's cool.
and we can change the orientation if we wanted to, like, right?
Oh yeah.
Although,
can we? I don't think we can anymore.
This should work. Oh, the azimuth. The change in azimuth is changing it.
Oh yeah.
So it's an inclination. I'm not sure what the. Yeah, this is like rotating it around the y-axis.
Interesting. You know what? I bet if our x spread was 0 and our y spread was what we were changing, maybe the inclination would do something.
Well, yeah,
crazy?
this feels like a bug a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if that maps to how I understand this or not.
Yeah, because if we sort of like just move the offsets back to 0.
Ooh, that is not 0. That is -10, -10.
Oh.
Do you want to? So the thing I did with spread x and spread y, do you want to put labels on the graph? Because that actually will help a lot.
Yeah, sure. The fact that it's exponential is going to make 0 hard to hit.
Oh,
right?
Maybe this one should be. Well, yeah, that's tricky. When you put the label in there, it should. There's a little snap.
Okay.
To some values.
How do I put labels on there?
Marks.
These marks?
Yeah. And so here's what's weird about the marks. 0 is going to be 50 here because that is our 50th step.
That makes sense.
It does. It took me a second to figure it out, though. So now...
So our offset's way off. Looks like we can't hit 0. Or close to it.
Yeah.
I don't know what value it actually is.
Yeah, close enough.
Close enough to 0.
Yeah.
Although who knows what, like at this point, exponentially, we probably can't get that close to 0.
Yeah.
So that's the problem, right?
Mm-hmm. So we brought it back here to change the orientation to see what the inclination would do here.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think this broke.
Ah, bummer. Yeah, I think you're right.
Now,
no, it's
changing the azimuth should reorient it, and it does.
The inclination is rotating around x. So change the inclination again. It should...
Oh, you know what? It might be the spread that's giving us a weird impression. Yeah. Okay, yeah, so the inclination is working.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's just that the interaction between the spread and the inclination isn't what we think it is.
Yeah, I think that's right. That's cool.
Right. Okay.
This is very neat.
Okay, so we also wanted to add the current value, right? Flexbox Mini.
Okay, so let's... we could do it with a new component, maybe? That might be the easiest way. Or,
that composes these things?
That composes like title and value as 2 inputs, yeah. So you just have like, give it 2 strings, line 43 and 44. Because if we're going to do this like 50 times, you might as well put it in one little chunk.
Okay.
We could do it here or the top of the file, whatever feels good. You could put it in foldable, actually. I sort of already extracted the foldable thing, so we could export a label from that. Though it's not actually the foldable, it's like the text inside of it. Yeah, just do it there.
Just call it label.
Mm-hmm.
Like this?
Yep.
Should this be a string?
It could be a string, or it could be 2 numbers, and or it could be a number array, and we could sort of choose to show a range or a single value in the component. Can you do a tuple that is a number with the second number optional? I don't know. I don't know if that's possible. Can you do a number question mark? I'm not sure.
I mean, you can do number or number.
There you go.
Does that work?
Yeah, let's do that.
This is a complicated thing. Okay, so
return a div. The style is flex, or put a style attribute on it. And then display is the string flex.
Okay.
And then justify content in camel case. This is an object, so commas. Yeah, we're in the weird redux. Yeah. And justify content is space dash between. And new property is flex direction. set that to row. Cool. And then inside the div, just put 2 spans and like put your values in there.
Brilliant.
Your inside of the div is actually like 1 line below that, where the carets meet. Yeah.
Okay. We would do props.value.join.
Mm-hmm. You could join.
I can join numbers.
Oh, probably not. Great point.
Why am I not formatting here? Oh, it's because I've got this.
Yeah, your curly brace. Yep.
Or
props.value.
Okay, so that's a label.
I think that should do it.
And so what we want here is a label with text equals and value equals. Actually, it's just that, right?
Boom. All right, let's see if that works. Yeah.
Oh, dude. Okay, we need to like format them, right?
Yeah, do a little rounding here. We could also
fixed, is it?
Yeah, 2 fixed. 2 decimal places.
Well, it's logarithmic. It might matter too. Let's just try 2 up front and see what happens. Oh, this is fine.
Yeah.
It's fine if the maximum is 10. Okay.
Cool.
This is awesome.
Yeah, that wasn't that bad.
Yep.
Cool. So yeah, so we can just use that thing everywhere.
Correct.
Thanks for humoring me.
Oh no, I love it. What do I do about this?
You could put text as an empty string. If you want to, if it's like a single property foldable, it'll just have the number off to the right.
Spawn rate.
If you go to an empty string, it will, yeah.
I just don't want an extra row. Do you know what I mean?
You could write particles per second, because that's what that is.
Put the units.
Yeah.
That is a very smart thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be helpful.
Width.
Ooh, now we can try the range. Or the array. Yeah.
It's basically just this, right? Nice. Did I break something?
I don't know. Nope.
Oh no. Yes, just...
I think you just set a very weird detail. Scale. Oh, height.
Yeah.
Nice.
Should this have? I think I like the idea of
a dash would be great. Yeah.
Oh, a dash. Yes. Or I was gonna do brackets.
Oh. Yeah.
But the dash works too. Should that be an M dash?
Actually, for range, I don't think so. Range is a N dash. I think. Yep.
Very clever.
I didn't work at a single typography startup for nothing.
I love that you know that. I love it so much.
We had, did I ever tell you we had like an entire printing press? We had like actually 2 whole printing presses in our office with like a type cabinet. It was wild.
Yeah, amazing.
Honestly, that Pittsburgh office was the most Silicon Valley office I've ever worked at in the best way.
Yeah, alpha range is... Oh, this needs to be a scaled range, doesn't
Oh,
it?
it sure should, yeah.
And this, the value just going to be 0 to 100, right?
Hmm.
And it needs steps.
Yep. 100 steps.
Is that right?
Sure.
Yeah, this works very well. Although it's actually 0 to 1, is it not?
It totally is, yeah. So now the color alpha is gonna be way maxed out there, but that should look better.
Yeah. Can we not unify them?
No, I mean we could, but they're a little funky right now.
Okay.
I feel like productionization of this is going to involve us actually like going and tweak the numbers too.
Yeah.
Sorry, wait. I couldn't actually see that alpha was working though. Can you make it 0 to 1? Get the full range in there. Oh yeah. Okay. Cool.
That is pretty sweet. Let me enhance the spread here. So
I see.
A little bit, yeah. What did I do to the start offset's really long? That was the issue. Yeah.
So I guess we haven't seen. That's so neat. We haven't seen particles with alpha yet, but would something like this actually, like our objects would be visible through this, right?
They would be. In fact, other particles are visible through the backs of these, but what's a little bit challenging about alpha particles is that they don't really respect alpha relative to each other. So like, if something is like physically in front of another thing, but it got drawn second,
mm-hmm.
It would still look like it was drawn
in front.
Actually, being drawn, if something was physically behind something, but it got drawn second, it would look like it was in front. And that's the way the colors blend.
Yeah, that's weird. Weird.
Because if you think about it, it's actually a really hard problem. Like the way that we handled like sorting things for drawing is the Z buffer. But the Z buffer assumes that you're like completely replacing the thing that's in front of it. And with alpha, since you're blending, you actually do need to sort along the camera adjusted Z axis. And that is a pretty non-trivial problem, actually.
Gotcha. Okay. Then alphas of 1 for particles.
It doesn't have to be. Okay. I don't think it necessarily looks bad, right? Okay, let's truck on.
Yep.
Spread X is this.
But that scale range works so well. Real big fan of that.
Yeah.
Oh, this is it. This is the moment. Yes. Oh no. I think we're gonna do the multiple edit of the letter X. Yeah.
Oh. It didn't hit me until you hinted it to me. That works as I expected.
Mm-hmm.
I think maybe when the spread gets more than pi over half on both sides, it starts to get a little bit weird because it's wraparound at that point.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Wait, sorry. Go back to
yes.
Spread X twice.
I forgot to delete the little thing.
This is the one where I actually already put labels there. Weirdly. Yeah.
Position offset, that it's this thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, two too much work now, but turning this all into a component, a more generic component that takes all these properties in would be really cool too.
It would be cool.
Yeah.
I know where you're headed.
Yep.
Where your mind's headed.
I know. I can count on that.
Speed.
What is speed?
What was the units? It is basically units per second.
Okay. Feels like a gimme of a unit, but
Tiles per second.
Tiles per second. Yeah.
That just relies on our tile being 1,
Mm-hmm.
which is fine. I think that's a nice simplifying.
Yeah, we baked that into the that got baked into the OpenGL stuff a while ago. So
correct.
When that stops being true, we'll have a very different game.
Particle TTL is seconds.
Seconds.
And gravity. And this is just
the one, yeah. Why do we negate this?
We negate it because the particle engine treats it as.
Mm-hmm.
Why do we negate this? There's no reason why this needs to be scaled, negated like this.
Okay.
We can just make it negative we can make it negative to positive, right? Like maybe you want.
Oh yeah, make it negative 50 to 0. Yeah.
Or negative 50 to negative 50, right?
Because you could actually go up. Yeah.
Exactly. Like we make this.
Cool.
And the gravity here.
So we've got. I think our speed is just so much that it's. Oh no, there we go.
It's going down. Yeah.
It sure is.
And this should curl up. Yeah.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
Cool. That's great.
Does this look exponential to you? It looks linear.
It does look linear. Is our thing possibly not? Does that algorithm not work for negatives? Would there be a reason for that?
No, I don't know. Where were we successfully seeing something exponential here? I think we might have just broken the exponential.
Fuck. Yeah, it looks like it.
Oh, you know what it is?
Huh. And below it. Oh, because you just hand the props into it? That makes sense.
I actually hate it when somebody takes... I hate myself. I think what it is. It's basically what I'm saying. This is so existential. The stream always gets really depressing. But
you've been playing too much Disco Elysium.
What I don't like taking something that is of one type and happens to overlap with something else and just like passing it into something. I'd rather be like explicit. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep, I'm with you.
I could just.
Well, let's see what we got first. I'm curious what our sliders look like now for.
It's the ones surrounding 0 are going to be bad, right?
Yeah,
because
exactly.
there's no reason why it should be more granular around this negative number, but like less granular around the positives.
Yeah,
right?
That's funky.
Yeah. So, what's the way around this? Do we need like a symmetric?
Symmetrical, where if
symmetric logarithmic thing.
Is that possible? I mean, anything's possible, but is there an easy formula for that, or?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's that hard. I think the API is a little bit here. It's just a little bit tricky. It might even be a different function.
Okay. Let's just take that off for our negative functions now, so we can keep pushing on this.
That is a great call.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is not exponential.
Yeah, and I think we made something else negative a second ago too, didn't we?
Scaled range.
Cool. Yep, that seems fine. Oh yeah, all our x, y, and z
all
there.
of these,
Yep. Because at least being able to see the number now is really helpful, so I think it'll be...
Exactly.
Cool.
And then I think that was probably... Why don't I do this?
Beautiful.
Okay, looks good.
Nice.
Looks great. So what we could potentially do for like emitters that we want to go off the front of something is we could take the position offset and just like scoot it down the Z.
Yep.
Towards negative Z-ish, like that. And this would be in front of the dog. But you're right to say that we should probably rig it rather than doing it this cheaty way, right?
Yeah, I mean it's a little cheaty, but yeah. Let's do a silly version of rigging it. Let's just make a new node. It'll be good practice.
Okay. How do we read from that? Well, let's do it first, right? And then ask questions later. So, is that what you're proposing?
Yeah, it is.
All
right, so we got to import the GLTF, which I think is not a...
I have to actually import it. Is that what you're saying?
Yep. At some point, we're going to be really good with Blender. I'm super excited.
Yeah, I've been off the Blender train a little bit for a while, so
it's. I mean, there's only so many skills I can keep track of at once. We're doing a lot here.
Yeah, I'm starting to learn how to do a subtractive synthesizer. Like I'm learning what all the knobs do right now.
Oh,
I'm doing this. Oh yeah, I'm doing this thing called Centorial. I haven't paid for it yet, but I think I'm going to. It's really good.
What?
Cool. Yeah, they have this iPad app.
Cool.
I wish I could make this bigger. Maybe I can.
I want this.
Yeah, they have this iPad app that basically has the full synthesizer in it and all these lessons. And it has a little video that tells you what a particular knob does.
Okay.
And then it goes into this exercise thing where it's like, okay, now match the sound that you hear by changing the knob.
That is really cool, and that's perfect on an iPad.
And then in between lessons, it's got this thing where it's like, okay, I'm going to give you the full synth, or at least all the knobs you've learned so far. All set to the default. Here's a sound. Now, based on all the things that you've learned, plus the last lesson, try to match that sound. It's a brilliant way to learn how to like make sounds. I've only done like the first 2 lessons or so. But I highly suggest grabbing it on your iPad.
Yes. That's really
and it's
cool.
free. Like, do the first few lessons and see if you like it. I think it's a really, really nicely constructed product.
Oh, I like this a lot. Yeah. It's cool. It's cool. It's got a Mac and Windows app, but I want to do this on the iPad.
Yeah, they also do a thing where it's like in between lessons, they're like, okay, now open up a different synthesizer on your computer. I actually just got a different synth on my iPad, and it's like,
try to do it on this.
Yeah, try to do it on the other thing because they might have slightly different controls or names for things, just so you can like relate things. It's a really, really nice way of learning this stuff.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah, that's sick. Damn it, dude. This is a really good nerd snipe.
Might be too much to do. I love this game. Is incredible. Like just working on games, it's just like it's so deep. It's so rich with things to do.
I would say this is hitting all the skills I wanted to already do, which is make music and learn how to 3D model. So like,
right, exactly.
I'm not complaining.
Also, do a stream, all those things.
Yeah, now I understand Twitch. Oh,
yeah,
the little guy looks so good with shading.
Yeah, I don't even remember how to like move around.
Mouse wheel in.
Oh, and then click and hold. Yes, it's a little bit different to Particle Toy, so I'm gonna be like totally messed up. And then my shading is kind of funny, right?
Yeah, Dean is very excited to see the Shiba in full full 3D.
Fully shaded. I think I've got like a particular. I think I have viewport shading.
But look at his weird soulless eyes. Ooh, neat.
Material preview.
Cool.
This is like fully rendered mode, right?
Yep.
And this is like wireframe.
Bah. That's so funny. Okay.
Can we get the my near plane is too close to the camera. I can't get the thing to turn inside out.
Dean says needs gogs. It's not wrong.
Head. Okay, so what you're saying is you want to place a node somewhere.
Let's put an object right in the middle of the muzzle, basically. I mean,
okay.
Teeth might be it. If you click on teeth, that's actually.
Oh, teeth is it.
Yeah, let's just use teeth. That's exactly what we want.
Teeth is it.
That's convenient.
Yeah. Okay, I don't have to edit this. I was getting intimidated for a second there.
Yeah, saved
I
our
am
bacon.
so impressed with Blender.
It's really good.
Re-implemented an entire GUI library with like every single like GUI paradigm you can think of. They've got like a folding tree. They've got this vertical tab thing. These little like kind of like corner drop-down menus. And all of this is like homespun. They're not using any native rendering at all, which is fucking insane.
Is this Java?
It is not Java. This is all C++.
Yeah, okay. I wonder, is there an ARM? Did they compile this for ARM yet?
Good friggin' question.
Yeah. I mean, it's dope. It's actually dope that it works, but
because we were wondering about that, right?
Yeah,
because I think this is Rosetta,
some
right?
Small. Oh yeah, yeah. You're emulating that Intel processor to run that C++ cross-platform thing.
Yeah. 70%, right? That's the general proportion.
70% performance.
Yeah.
Which is pretty amazing because
it's friggin' incredible, is what it is.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still remarkable. Oh well. Looks like no.
Is the answer no on this thread?
Yeah, I couldn't find a full release yet. So.
Come on, Blender.
As I say, I feel for everyone who's running a graphics library. This and OBS still haven't quite. There's like a bunch of merge requests out there, but they're still working on it.
Yeah.
Okay, teeth.
Okay, we've got teeth. We've got tooths. All right, so I'm gonna get the hell out of Blender. I'm just intimidated right now. Don't save. Okay, that means that if I open Shiba.gltf, there's gonna be teeth.
There should be a teeth node. Yeah. Yep.
There's a teeth node.
So is this is Shiba.body.teeth to get to this? Or just Shiba.teeth? It depends.
I think it's Shiba.head.
Shiba.head.teeth. Yeah.
All right. Gotta go back in.
You gotta re-import it.
You know what, Dom? I'm into it.
We should save a Blender scene and maybe commit that for us to work with too. That might actually be really helpful someday.
Okay.
Just because then we could just keep exporting from the Blender scene.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. We'll do that later. How's that sound?
Yeah, no, not right now, but just thinking down the line. Dean says Shiba.feet.toe-beans bracket 0.
Shiba.head.teeth.
We have to get chat on the screen somehow. I'm gonna research that. There must be a filter.
Oh. Yeah, there very well might be. For OBS, you mean?
Yeah, I think that's a really easy OBS thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll
But
figure that out.
the thing is, I wouldn't be able to see it. So maybe what it should be is like me doing some kind of overlay on my screen.
Oh, a local Twitch overlay for yourself. That's interesting. Yeah.
Can I just do that? Is there not just like a website that will just give me Twitch stream chat widget?
Dean says it'll just be me wreaking havoc in here. I was like, yeah, of course it is. That's
Okay, I could do this.
You go to Twitch, pop the chat out. You don't have us bookmarked?
Not in this browser.
I'm just kidding.
It is. Can I? And then I can just like.
See if there's a pop-out chat button over. Oh my god, chat. You just gonna delete the video.
I think that works.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
And then I think though. Oh yeah, it's just gonna.
Oh, it's okay. Just take this and put it in the background.
Of like right here.
Yeah. This is a real the real shit show.
This is pod racing. I'm gonna put it like that. How's that?
Sure.
Man, I friggin' hate this thing where I drag it to the top of the window and it expands it. I've never once wanted that.
No,
Mac OS.
Nobody has.
Yeah.
Yes. You can read the chat. ESK says, "Don't say Bloody Mary 3 times." Oh, Jeff. Okay, can you make the chat window slightly shorter? Because right now, new chats are behind our faces. Yeah, just drag it up. I'll tell you when. Or like drag the bottom edge up. I mean, or that. Yeah. I saw it. I almost saw it happen.
Okay, is
Great.
that effective?
It's perfect. We've done our live editing. Yeah.
And then what if I also? I might want to talk. I was going to delete that.
You can chat.
I'm logged in as Jeff and Dom.
As I say, so am I. So
this is going to be a very schizophrenic chat session here.
Yeah. That's fine. Everything's fine. This is fine.
Oh boy. All right.
All right. Shiba.head.teeth.
Yes. So this is a little bit of an interesting problem. So if we go to
we're spawning this emitter in the shooter system.
We're spawning it in yes, it's in the shooter system. But what's the right API for this?
I mean, right now we just one of the things about the emitters too is that like they have a fixed point. So when they're spawned and you move away from them, they kind of hang out in the place they are, and I think that's okay. Can we just can we like compose down to the transform for that and just stick it as the origin?
Yeah. Okay. Let's do the thing where we do text files because it's a nice
great
thing. Particle like querying the animation system, as it were. Right. Or I think the higher level problem is like attaching particle emitters to animated models, right? So there are a couple of problems. First of all, how do you know the model node path from the side effect system? By side effect system, I mean this thing here, where we actually spawn this.
Yeah, I was gonna say we don't know about it here. We could take care of it. We could take care of it on the shooter system because don't we send in the event with a orientation? Like tank shot comes with an origin, right? Or it could.
Yes. Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, so like the thing doing the shooting needs to know about the model system, but that's okay. Like this is saying like and really like if we sort of generify this later, maybe entities have a like bullet origin property based on their model.
Yeah, I think I like what you're saying better, where we have a component that knows about shooting origins.
Let's put it on the shooter component because I think that's the model path for that is pretty useful.
And the shooter component, what we really are talking about is like the tank shooting component, right?
Yeah, that thing. Yeah. Were you thinking a different one?
No, this is fine. And then so what is it? So when we actually instantiate the player,
because this is going to work good for the turrets too, which are also just shooting from the middle of the turret.
Does the shooter take a path as its argument? Is that basically what you're proposing?
Yeah, I like that.
Okay. This is going to be one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
I guess logically, the bullet comes from a fixed point, right?
Yep.
Do you remember GoldenEye 64? Did you ever play that game?
I very much did, yeah.
You know how Odd Job was like shorter than everybody else?
Oh yeah, you could cheat with Odd Job. It was great.
Exactly, you could totally cheat with him. So this is one of those things where, like, if we actually originated the bullet based on the animation path here,
Well,
it would be not fair.
If
right?
our hits were in 3 dimensions, but they're in 2 dimensions.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we'll
So
have to solve
what do we call
that
this?
problem.
Like,
So
is it emitter spawn path? Emitter. What is the name of this thing?
now is it? I mean, is it even more than emitter, right? Because we could actually we're going to spawn the bullet from here too.
Yes.
So just spawn path, or and here's a let me throw a wrinkle in there. What if this was plural? Because the turrets have at least 2 shooters, and we could actually just swap where they're coming from this way.
The turrets are separate, though. The turret is not governed by the shooter system.
Turret doesn't have a shooter system? Dang.
No.
All right. Never mind.
But I know what you're saying,
Yeah.
right? Like, the shooter system here actually takes click events.
What if this dog is shooting eye lasers instead of teeth lasers?
I think to do what you're talking about, I think we need a separate system that is like this is like the firing system, which then tells the bullet spawning system what to do. And the bullet spawning system would be shared by both the turret and the turret's multiple cannons and the one cannon on each tank. Does that make sense?
Gotcha. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a big refactor. So let's start with this, because I think this makes sense. Yeah.
I think actually this is going to be constant right now, because only the tank is a shooter. I'm not gonna abstract it out into a property.
Yeah,
now.
I think the idea of the bullet spawn system, especially as we like sort of get into stranger weapon types. Like that's a nice thing that we can feed properties into and have it sort of take care of that and origins and all that sort of stuff.
I think what you're proposing is that tank shoot. Maybe just tank shoot knows then, because like there's only one tank.
Yeah, well, at some point, are
you going to say that we want to have this?
I was going to say we should just pass the origin here and call it a day, or the position.
Okay.
Because I think we've sort of, at least in the past, like or in our new events, we were doing position orientation only. And I think you made some mention of like not actually needing the entity to handle these events necessarily.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But let's use position. I think that's consistent for our everything. We don't have a lot of origins.
Okay. All right. So if we go to this shooter system, so that means that this has to know about the animation system, right? And the problem with that is that the server doesn't know about the animation system. The server doesn't even have any models.
Does the server even deal with frame events? These are all side effects, huh? Is any of this server stateful?
Yeah, maybe we should just not have. Maybe we should just do the lookups in the side effect system. So So against what I was saying before.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
Just because we're really just trying to take the most direct line from where we currently are to where we're trying to go right now.
Cool.
Without agonizing over the factoring, which I will do plenty of.
Yeah.
Later. Wide awake at night, 3 a.m., just staring at the ceiling. What am I going to do? Like, existentially haunted by this.
In that case, then yeah, I think the side effect system handling this seems perfect.
Okay.
I think we should extract this stuff. Like, this is all looking in client sim. This one function is already way too big. So
yeah, what I like about doing it here is that there's no question about the ordering of the simulation systems, right? Like, because Simulate does these things in a specific order, and this the shooter system just happens to go right here, and then the tank mover happens to be right here. We probably want to know, like, the tank mover is what moves the... well, what is it that actually rotates the thing?
I think it's the shooter.
Is it the shooter?
Yeah. I think that's what's listening to the mouse event, maybe earlier on in the messages.
Oh, it's this right here.
Yeah.
Right.
Which, like, that runs on the server.
It does run on the server, you're right. So maybe we can use this. Since we're already doing this math here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So back to this. How do you know the model node path? The answer is we hard code it.
Great. How do we get the subnode offset? Do we even have access to that, or is it all GLTF?
It's all GLTF, right? So you're getting to my next question. How does game logic query the model?
Boy, that seems like the bigger problem. Yeah.
When do we apply the stack of transforms? And then because we need to basically apply all these transforms for us to know the exact world position of where to spawn something, right? So we basically need the game logic to be able to traverse the GLTF stack, right?
Yeah, which I think it's in code somewhere, but that's actually pretty annoying, isn't it?
Well, the way we're doing it right now is that render 3D, we do render, well, any of these things, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're doing render wire solid, right?
Mm-hmm.
We pass in
The modifiers.
the model to world matrix, which is the root one, and then modifiers.
Mm.
And then these get applied and multiplied by... So this is actually kind of a hard problem.
Yep.
If all of these get bundled up and are in the component themselves somewhere, we could use this pretty directly. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Gosh. If we use the model path to get to the tip of the nose this way too, we no longer need to pass orientation because the transform will do that for us.
Yeah, like the GLTF exists in the client, right? We have the GLTF.
Yeah.
Well, what we actually have is one of, and it's renderer code. So I think we still need to do this just on the client, or we need to figure out how to factor it in a way that, or we could just make the server aware of the GLTFs. It's not the end of the world, but.
Yeah, I gotta say, you're convincing me that offset, that using the emitter offset is the easier solution today. Until we actually have rigging in here. Gosh.
Yeah, so basically we have this GLTF.
And we have
meshes are not organized by, they're not keyed off by string, like their string names.
And they really don't. There's not. So I think maybe I was wrong because there's not actually a like point. I think I wanted to get primitive rigging out of this, but we don't actually have like a offset in our mesh, do we? Like, there's not actually some value we can even apply very cleanly.
There is.
Oh, there is?
So like if we actually kept the data mesh around, like if we kept this around, then we could go into the, what is it?
What's the mesh primitive got?
The model node, right? So if we kept this around and had like a table of these things keyed by model name, right, by this name here, what you would do is you would take, let's say that we had this object for every single entity. Right? We knew what model it was. We knew what the model modifiers were, and we knew the model to world. Right? Model to world is really the top level model modifier. Does that make sense? It's like the root level model modifier.
Yes.
So if we had these three things together, one of these for every single entity, and we set the values of these things over the course of the simulation, at least on the client. What we could then do is look up the model node and then basically apply the model modifiers hierarchically against this transform and accumulate them as we search for the mesh that we're looking for. Right? Because we go through the children, and the children are just another one of these things, and they have their own respective transforms. That's how the head is separated from the body.
Yep.
Right.
Okay.
And so I think what we're talking about is doable. It's kind of a mess.
I was going to say, is it better... Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a mess to get to a less good rigging system when we could just do rigging later, too. So...
Well, I'm not sure if I don't know if rigging solves anything, because it's still the same issue where, like, we basically have to resolve. This is what the game logic is telling the renderer to do when they orient a specific instance of a model.
I guess
that is what you're going to need no matter what, right?
I guess I was thinking in my mind having a system for rigging around would mean that we in our simulation state we would have a more direct pointer to like the dog's 4 legs, because we'll have to maybe move them.
Okay. Yeah.
In game logic, and then that gets applied to the renderer versus like trying to reach into the renderer and pull out a node, right? Does that? I guess that's what I'm trying to figure out is like...
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, so I think you and I are saying basically the same thing.
Cool. Okay.
Is like, what you're saying is that there's going to be some derivation of this that represents like the animatable stick figure of...
Exactly. And when we have that, we'll have like a pointer in our game logic to this thing already. And we could generate that now, but is it going backwards to do it this way, I guess? Because GLTF has a system for this too, right? Isn't there a way?
GLTF has a system for this, and I think we'd actually get rid of this whole model modifiers nonsense.
Yes, yeah, right. That'd be done.
Instead, what we would have are animations in the GLTF, and essentially this head rotation would be like a particular animation that has a time slider from 0 to 1, right? And then we'd translate the time slider in based on the orientation. We'd basically say, like, I want to set the animation to this particular time slider, right?
Cool.
Time position, right?
Neat.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like that.
And then that gives you a series of... Well, you basically have to interpolate between keyframes, which is computationally a little bit expensive, right? You're doing slurp between keyframes. There's ways to optimize slurp, though. There's ways to make it so that it doesn't have to be so slow, because you can approximate it pretty closely with cubic functions. I sound like I know what I'm talking about. I haven't. There's just an article out there that I read that I didn't understand. That I'm like, okay, the high level of this is that like there's complex math that's accurate, and then you can kind of fudge it with simpler math.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
But well, I think I see what you're saying. There's like a whole system that needs to be there.
There's a thing missing, and yeah, I feel like it's. I'm trying to think of like what the end result of like what we're doing now or what we do later would be, and it's like every model probably has a few sort of key points, because like we will have emitters coming off of them in interesting ways. Yeah, and there might be things spawning from different parts of the model. But is it like if the driver pops out the side of the dog tank, is that a point, or do we just sort of like hard code what we think the origin for that should be? So, yeah, I think I just talked myself into a corner because I really don't know what the answer should be. Or it's that there's 5 answers. Yeah.
I think everything's a fine option. Like I think probably for visuals, at least purely for the sake of visuals, we probably want to make them animation driven, ideally. Although I don't know, we could probably just fake this by just shoving the emitter forward a little bit, right?
I was gonna say let's do the cheap solution today.
Maybe that's just like fine, right?
Yeah. Well, let's do that for the emitter, and let's maybe nudge what the bullet spawn point is as well. And I think we'll feel good about it.
Okay.
Pew pew. Ah man, it's so cool that this thing just works for us.
Okay, so we're
and thanks for that tangent, by the way, or not tangent, but
we're offsetting to negative z, right? And 1 is way too much, right? Because the dog is itself like 1 tile big, right?
Yep.
And then this is going to be exactly the same thing, right?
Maybe these sliders should be stepped from like -2 to 2. The fact that we want to build a -10 to 10 cube shape is like, I can edit that.
Okay. It's an extravagance.
Yeah, right? Like, that's maybe a little overkill.
Or we can just add 1,000 steps here. I don't.
Oh, it's there's not enough pixels on the screen though. That's the real problem. Yeah.
Yeah. Am I doing the right thing?
Yeah, I think so.
Position offset, yes. Okay, so the position offset here. Oh yeah, that's a lot more granular. That's nice. Doesn't look like I can get them exactly the same, but that's fine. But a little bit of distribution is fine. It's actually cool. It actually looks good. So what is it? -16 to -20? Ah, I'm dragging it.
We can turn that off if you want.
Well, it's useful when I want it, and then not useful when... Okay, so that might not be enough, but let's try it.
Cool. Yeah, let's see what we got.
Yeah, not. I think
it's closer to like 0.4. It's
so basically double what I just did.
Yeah, it's a pretty big chunk of the dog.
Yeah.
Nice.
The fact that this reloads so quickly is such a nice developer experience.
I know. ES build, baby. That looks a lot better.
Maybe even a little bit more. What do you think?
I think a little more, and then do we want a touch?
I think that the bullet spawn is fine. It looks. I mean, it's just how it looks, right? It looks fine. The bullet travels fast enough that you can't really tell.
Yeah, that's true. Do we want a touch of a little more on the Z and a touch of Y?
Oh, to bump it up.
Yeah.
We can actually monkey with that in the code.
What do you mean?
We're arbitrarily setting it to like the -0, like to positive 0.5.
Oh, are we? Okay, great. Yeah, let's do that in the code. Cool. Yeah, it's part of me craves a canonical representation of what this point is in model space, but we'll get there.
Yeah, this looks good.
Yeah,
this looks
cool.
real good. Still kind of spray.
So I mean, we can tune it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like the dog is sneezing.
That's this one here, right? I think it's this one.
That is not the right color. Is it? No, that's
it. Is the right color. Yeah.
There's some blue in there. Oh, there is some blue in there. Never mind.
There is a little bit of blue in there. Yeah.
So
is it just too long, or is it spread too wide?
Let's turn the TTL down a little bit. Let's turn the emitter TTL way down too. Yeah, I think that actually could be. I think the key to good explosions is making them look like a pop. So. maybe both emitter TTL is much lower. Yeah. Or the smoke is good, but this one, yeah.
I think it's just that the blue one has too much of a wide spread.
Mm. Okay. And can we turn the TTL down on both of them maybe? The
particle TTL or
particle TTL? Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that'll look really good when you're doing it. Smoke faster, smoke slower.
Smoke slower,
Yeah.
and then this one faster.
I was thinking it'd be really cool to have a little representation of this in each of the panels too, so you could see the individual emitters. But that might be a complicated multiple GL context to manage. But it's what I want, and it's what I might try.
All right, I'm gonna try this.
Yeah, let's see what we got.
Way better.
Yeah, that looks great. Cool. ESK says, "Oh well, you can. It's on the screen, but the turnaround time from making effect to testing it looks like complete magic, dude. We did it. We made a cool little system, and
the turrets look so much better.
Are they no longer spinning? Oh, that's a lot better. Yeah,
that's way better. It almost makes up for the fact that they're shooting out of one spot in the middle, even though they have two cannons.
Yep.
The fact that they have two cannons is incidental, though, right? Like that is just because that's the model that you found.
True.
Not a bad model, though.
But I would like them to shoot out of both eventually.
Okay.
Yeah, ESK. We did some. We spent a lot of time making a tool for ourselves to make this work super fast. But
now the other thing I would like, but I'm not going to worry about it, is
yeah.
I'd like the emitter to move along with the. I'd love for it to track the dog. Right now, if the dog is moving and we shoot, it kind of just like stays there.
Yeah, so I was wondering about that because it's missing the physicsy thing because yes, the smoke would be where you shot it, but also you'd be pulling the air with you. So
it doesn't have to be realistic. It just needs to look good, right?
Yeah. Well, it does look wrong right now. Can we update that emitter position? Can we update the position of the spawn to follow the dog? So particles will keep going, but they'll spawn from the dog past that?
Can. I think what we're talking about at that point is a component on the thing that basically tracks the emitter object. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, this is what a component system is for.
That's fair.
Like we could have a component on every entity that's like my emitters.
Shows my air purifier was making a nice white noise this whole time. Sorry.
You know what? I was really zen.
That's
I think that was because of the white noise.
Okay. Should we make that component, or did you have a clever idea?
Cool. I don't. Let's actually really quickly.
Yeah.
You wanted to pop this up a little bit, right?
Oh, I did. Thanks.
That's being set arbitrarily. That's something that would go away if we could set the. Oh, perfect.
See, that is so. This dog sneezes bullets. Big fan.
And it's going to be way higher on the. I guess the height you can't really tell on the turrets, right?
No, but it could be better if it was higher on the turrets too, but this is fine.
All right, that's fine.
Oh god, it's a whole different system. Heck yeah. I didn't even notice.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit higher on these, right? That looks better.
Yep. Cool.
I would say. Actually, we can get a better view if we liberate our friend here. Oh, that was also perfect.
Wow, spot on, man.
So good at this.
Yeah. Yeah. I see. Can we go to where the tank shoot side effect is, where we spawn the dog emitter?
Yeah. This one?
Yeah, so creating the emitter set, right? The origin is just so I have a dumb question.
Yeah.
The origin is cloned right now, right?
Oh, I know what you're getting at, and I'm scared.
Oh, what would happen if we just gave it the entity's position?
Yeah, I think that the emitter origin gets copied.
Dang. Okay.
For it, to prevent
exactly what I'm
silly
suggesting.
ideas like the one that you just proposed.
Yeah, totally. Well, we only have 10 minutes left. Can we just put some leaves in here?
Done. Let's do it. Yeah. So what you're talking about is like something following the tank. We actually talked about like having some like tread noise. Right?
I was thinking, can we have like an entire environmental like weather emitter?
You want weather?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want the emitter that with a undefined TTL.
Okay. So what is it like fall? Is that the season that we're talking about?
Let's do fall, yeah.
Like a rustic kind of like the kind of like a burnt red kind of thing, and then maybe some kind of golden.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a nice range of color right there.
Yeah. We're basically Mr. Autumn Man now. Yeah. Maybe a little bit brighter. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, those leaves.
Positively Canadian.
Looks good. Dean, we made you wait 2 hours for this.
Yeah, he's getting excited, I'm sure. And then the orientation of this, we're going to point upwards, right? We're gonna end up no, it's just gonna be like this field, right?
Yeah,
it's gonna be like a whole field.
It's a field, and we can control it with spread, or we can control it with orient. Like we'll have a couple of ways.
The position offset is going to be anywhere along the X plane, anywhere along the Z plane, and above the ground, right?
That's right. Yeah, we don't care about anything below the.
And
the
let's just go back to 10.
Okay.
For this emitter, right? Sure. And let me make sure this gets saved. I picked those colors and they were perfect. What else is there? There's a couple more. Yeah. All right. Well, this is actually gonna have to be 64, right? So maybe this is.
I was gonna say we have to edit it no matter what.
We have to edit no matter what. Okay.
Yeah.
Whatever. This helps me visualize.
Totally
helps me.
And Y all the way to 10 is actually Y2 is actually probably correct. That's really interesting.
Y2?
Well, sorry, the Y is only from like above the ground to 2, but like if that went all the way up to 64, that would actually be really silly.
I think it would need to be a little bit higher just to be closer to the camera, right? Like at least 5 or 6.
Yeah. That's why that looks great. I know, isn't it? I wanted to do this as soon as we made the particle system, and I didn't realize it would be this easy.
And then the scale, and we can actually add gravity, right?
Oh, dude. It's just sick. I think maybe a little less gravity.
Yeah. There's got to be air resistance, right?
Yeah. Yeah, they're leaves. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Speed feels actually kind of about right.
It's looking pretty good.
And
were you gonna make the scale a little more variable? Is that what you were thinking?
The scale, yeah, that is what I was thinking. Both bigger and much smaller, I would say.
Can the leaves have some persistence on the ground ever? Oh gosh, I don't know. Could we put a gravity plane in here where they would actually hit the ground and stay there?
Yes.
I guess we could program that in. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, basically, the particle system. It runs its physics right here, right? This is where we apply ballistic motion, and if we just add another property, it'll be like a ridiculous per particle property, but like we just basically say where does it stop.
That'd be very cute.
It might slide along the ground unless we add a little more logic in here.
Yep.
But you know.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there.
We're gonna have stuff that just like absorbs into the ground because it's gonna like hit the ground and then kind of like slide through, right? How does this feel to you? Is this okay?
It's actually really cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to export this.
See this in the real world.
And then we are going to create a new emitter.
Mm-hmm.
Our emitter names are all just like jazz songs, right?
Yeah.
Falling Leaves.
As I say,
Tank Shot.
You missed the opportunity, yeah. The Bullet Explosion is not a standard I'm familiar with. But
you get a copy of the real book. You'll see it in there.
Yeah, as I say, one of the
page 200. It's a deep cut.
One of the lesser known Coltrane tunes.
Yeah. Okay. So the range needs to be way big, right?
Yep.
We need to go like negative 64 to 64 or negative 32 to 32.
32 to 32, yeah, because we are 64 big.
And let's get it in the game, right?
Yep. So this is interesting because it's a one-time emitter creation at like game start, and it just hangs out. Oh
yeah.
Oh, non-expiring true. That's cute.
That's not a thing that we can edit in the emitter. Just because I didn't want to add a React control for it. But,
totally. Does that mean emitter TTL is
ignored completely?
Oh, okay, great. I didn't realize. I thought it was like emitter TTL being undefined was the property that triggered that, but that's even better. Yeah. Nice.
So I think all we do right now, where do we have our particle simulator? Is it in here?
Yeah, we have.
Oh, actually, we
haven't added emitter
here. Okay.
Oh yeah, so
in the start play.
Yep. It is so cool that we can just do this. By the way,
create emitter set.
Oh, and we're going to need to add this to our asset manifest, right?
Origin is the center, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yes, the asset manifest. Mm-hmm. Good call. All right, this is getting a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
So what it's actually going to be is... I'm just going to call it temp. Actually, I think this needs to be... We need to have strings. Bullet explosion, entity explosion, falling leaves... and tank shot. And then we need to translate that.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way I can do, I guess I can do reduce, but I hate that. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, do it. ESK, what do you mod? What's your modding scene? By the way, I love that our chat is in the video now.
It's great.
Yeah. It's a little silly for Twitch, but it's going to be really excellent for the archive.
What is there's no reduce on this. I have to do keys.reduce, right?
Oh. Yeah?
Fuck this. It's ridiculous. So this is raw.
Mm-hmm.
And then what I want is the object.keys of raw.reduce. We're going to get the key, the value, what is it, memo k? Or actually, I started calling these a cube.
Yes, I much prefer
that. A cube of k is equal to this thing.
Yeah.
Where this is raw of k.
Yep.
Right? Return a cube.
Mm-hmm.
And then what is this return value? Did it figure it out?
I think the empty object you pass in on line 20, does that need a type? Is that what... Oh yeah, that got close.
What is this complaining about?
Any. K.
This needs to be a record of string and unknown.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
And that solved it, right?
Whew.
So this is a record, and then we pass in the record here.
Nice.
That's the way it wants to format it. I'm not gonna fight it.
It's fine. It's fine. It means we can add things without doing that.
And this is
falling leaves.
Falling leaves.
Yeah.
And then
no way this just works.
No, it looks like it crashed.
Ah shit.
Cannot set property entity explosion of undefined. I just borked my. I just kind of did something funny.
Oh.
What is it actually complaining about?
Cannot set property? Is it saying you can't set a cum k? Yeah, let's debug this sucker.
A cum is set, raw is set.
It's where entity explosion is where it blew up, right? So
it's the second one, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna go through it again.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Wait.
Is it actually, does it make it all the way out of this and it's the object.entries that's blowing up? On line 23 instead?
Could be.
Yeah.
Got that breakpoint there.
Yeah, I want to see what happens when, what does it think record is here? Oh gosh, it grabbed the entire GL matrix scope again. Ugh.
Record, entity explosion's in there. Oh, you know what? This is an array. Oh, this is fine, right?
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to be. Yeah, they're emitter arrays. That should be cool.
So what's it complaining about?
It's not?
It was fine.
It was fine. It was fine the whole time.
Oh, whoa. What is our emitter doing all the way out here?
I don't know, but it looks cool.
It's kind of flat. Did I mess up the...
Huh. I don't think you did.
Translation offset range.
Negative 32 to 32, negative 32 on line 15, yeah. Time to pop all those leaves into world space. Ooh, it doesn't like the recompilation.
No, it just
oh, it just broke again. Ah, fair.
Okay, what happened to my particles?
Okay, now I still have questions. Are they still negative? Are they still on the far edge?
Would have thought that would have fixed it.
Yeah. If you undo that change, or does it work again?
Why do I have two things open?
Great question. Yeah, let's just take this back. Okay. The fuck?
And that's funny. This should be restraining it on the z-axis. Oh! This is the range. So this.
Oh. Yeah. Great. That's it.
Oh.
Oh, buddy.
Yes. Should it be kind of being oriented sort of diagonally? Is that?
Yeah. I let's get it off axis somehow.
And let's do like 60 degrees. No, I want greater than 90 degrees.
Greater than 90.
Well, it's basically it's a right-hand rotation around the axis coming up straight up to the ground. I want it going from north. I want to go from northwest to southeast. So that's greater than 270. So let's do like a 290 degrees.
Cool. Is that
This
not happy?
rotate
Need
from Euler is what I wanted.
nice. Cool.
That is actually not what I expected. I wanted it to go the other way.
Yeah, I thought so as well.
I wanted it to go like this way.
Mm-hmm.
Did it go the other direction? What if I did negative 290?
I think so, yeah. That's also backwards from where you wanted.
Oh, it's actually greater than 180. I'm sorry. It's rotating from the from north.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. So like let's do 200 degrees. Yeah,
Nice.
a little bit more. All right, this is what I wanted.
That looks
this
great.
is
I'm a big fan of this.
Can we increase the spawn rate?
It just turn that spawn rate way the hell up. Yeah, higher, like 1,000. It's fine. This can handle it.
Yeah.
We're not even pushing the limits of the particle system.
More.
2,000. What's our particle limit? 10,000 on the screen.
I don't even know.
I mean, this is awesome. So whatever.
Yeah.
Fall's coming early.
Don't you love what we spent our time doing here?
Yeah, I do.
That
looks really excellent. That's super cool.
Yeah, and I think we can monkey with the spread range if we wanted to get a little bit of variance here.
Harnessing the power of the M1. Yeah, it really... oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
-1 to 1. Yeah, that's a little bit busy, but...
Dude... Sorry, what? Oh, you just changed the spread to pick some random directions in the orientation. I like it. Yeah.
So basically each individual particle is going to pick...
It's got a really nice weaving feeling to it.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe too much, though.
Yeah, totally.
Back it off. Just a little bit.
Because that is in...
But now we're Bob Ross, right? We're just making happy little trees.
Happy little leaves, yeah. Nice grassy meadow next week. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed.
Oh, did you see the little leaf that went by the camera there?
I missed it. Damn.
I feel the brisk breeze and the smell of wood smoke. We're just like wearing wool sweaters and drinking pumpkin spice lattes.
I'm going to go make myself a cup of hot chocolate. Yeah. The nice thing is it's kind of always fall in California, so this is fine.
And then a little bit of the ultraviolence.
Yeah. This looks really cool.
What it actually looks like is kind of nuclear winter. Like it kind of looks horrifying right now. Like I just see it as like embers kind of crashing down.
Gosh,
you know
okay.
What I mean?
We'll have to do something about that. But you're right. Since it doesn't accumulate on the ground, it has that Wind Waker volcano level feel where you saw particle effects for the first time.
Thanks, Dean.
Jeff, I feel like you live to sort of crush Dean's dreams.
Well, I don't know. I like the weather system that we just added in.
I do too.
If we see, you had mentioned wanting to light the particles, and if we had lit particles, we could actually put a sun in here and get like the glint of the particles rotating against the sun.
Dude, yeah, we could. That would look really cool. That would probably actually do. That would probably be the differentiator between ember and leaf, because right now they look like they are producing light in that embery way versus being shaded by the environment.
You're right.
That's probably a big difference, yeah.
You're right. And if we wanted to test the limits of what this graphics card could do, we could actually have 1,000 dynamic lights, one for every particle, and have them each emit a little bit of light.
Sounds like next week. Oh,
yeah, I think my GPU would explode.
I don't know. You got 8 cores in there.
got too many cores!
Yeah, real-time weather effects. We should really write the elevator pitch for this with the features we have, and real-time weather effects just became one of them.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Somebody would just send us $1 million for this.
That would be
I bet
fun.
this is how Goat Simulator got made. They would just like start off making like an extremely serious like political role-playing game, and then it became like complete anarchy.
Yeah, lucky us that Disco Elysium didn't actually accidentally make a chat tool. That would be a very well voice acted chat tool if they did.
Well, we've successfully gone from synthwave to
Cozy Autumn.
Hallmark Channel.
We don't control the game.
Which is kind of
the game controls us.
This is really just the Great American Novel, is it not? This is Cozy Wave system.
Cozy Wave. Cottage core. This is some big cottage core.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, I'm sad I'm not going to be here on Monday to do more of this, but I will be on a road trip.
Wait, where you going on Monday, man? Tell me about this trip. I didn't know about this trip.
Yeah, you did. Because you missed 2 Mondays ago. I'm just going up the coast for a little hike, but
That's awesome. No, I wasn't. I wasn't upset. I wanted to know what fun thing you were doing.
Yeah. No, I knew you weren't upset. No, I'm just going up somewhere. What is it? Sort of up near Fort Funston into the woods.
Okay.
Yeah, should be fun. But I'm very excited for
There's going to be a lot fewer autumn leaves falling.
I know. Sad.
Autumn Leaves was the jazz song that I was thinking of. I think that's what happened.
Oh, it absolutely was. Yeah. One of my favorite standards. That song is fun as heck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we done? I think we're done.
I think we're done.
All right, Dean, ESK, good seeing you.
Thanks for hanging out. Yeah, we'll see you next Thursday. Cheers.